Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone here on the Splash Live, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library virtual events. The West Bloomfield Library are hosting a ton of fun and educational events for residents of West Bloomfield in all age groups. Today at 10:30 a.m., they're having their weekly Terrific Tots program that helps your child to have fun while learning through song, dance, and interactive story times. This event is recommended for ages 1 to 3 years and will help those kids learn about literacy and have fun with it while they're doing so. Tomorrow they're having their weekly Storytime Adventures program at 10:30 a.m., which will bring your child on a virtual adventure to explore some of their favorite storybook characters through activities and song. This program is recommended for ages 2 through 5 years, and you can register on the West Bloomfield Library website. For these events and all other virtual events of the library, you can go to their website at westbloomfieldlibrary.org to register. Something else that is ongoing at the library is your ability to rent out those great literacy and tender topic kits that help your child with their literacy skills and ways to learn about tough topics that are happening in our community. If you want to rent out one of these kits, you can do so by stopping into the library or calling the Youth Services desk to reserve that kit of your choice. This Thursday, April 21st, the Sylvan Lake Garden Club invites you to an evening of learning about how to use native Michigan plants to support the declining pollinator populations and create healthy yards, trails, and lakes while minimizing rain runoff and flooding. Led by Erica Kleitz, the director of the Oakland County Cooperative Invasive Species Management, this event will be held at the Sylvan Lake Community Center, and there will be a social time that's starting at 6:30 p.m. when the presentations for this event will start at 7. Our next event and the last event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation event. The West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is hosting their all-aboard virtual tour and fundraiser on Thursday night. Here you'll be able to get a virtual tour of the new West Bloomfield Middle School while also seeing all those great features that will make learning collaborative at their new school. The Educational Foundation will also be having a 50-50 raffle to raise money to support these programs. If you want to participate in the raffle, you can do so by purchasing a $10 ticket by calling 248-521-0074. And to watch the entire virtual tour and the event, you can head over to their website at wbef.org at 7 p.m. tomorrow night to enjoy the fundraiser. If you have an event you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with the West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, Steve Kaplan. But before that, if you have driven down Orchard Lake Road, you will notice a beautiful new building that is under construction. The new West Bloomfield Middle School has been a major construction project since 2019 and is set to open up for next year's school year. We got to take an inside look into the building, and Calvin Brown talked to our senior project manager, Aaron St. Dennis, about some of the great features that will be included inside the building. Let's go check it out.
After a lengthy construction process dating back to 2019, the West Bloomfield Middle School project on Orchard Lake Road is shaping up to be one of the township's most prolific buildings. I got to chat with Senior Project Manager Aaron St. Dennis about the building and the aspects of its design that will leave students' jaws on the floor.
We started construction out there in the fall of 2019, which began with site work behind the existing middle school, working storm drains throughout the site, and foundations followed that. Some key points were the eye center, which is in the center of the building. It's the wave that you can see from the roof structure. Very unique room. It's more like the library from our days. It has a learning stairs, which is a staircase that students can sit on and learn and collaborate throughout the day in that area.
Adjacent to the Eye Center are two courtyards that encourage students to get some fresh air. with another set of learning stairs and sculptures that also function as seating during breaks.
Students are going to be encouraged to sit out there and interact together. They will have artificial turf, which will look like grass, but it'll definitely be green and look very nice. And we have trees in that area.
Exciting stuff! What other spots do you think students will love?
Another area that comes to mind is the auditoria, a mix between an auditorium, which they can have musicals and performances. Then it also acts as a cafeteria throughout the day.
With so many wide open spaces, the new building promotes intermingling and cooperation between students and classes, allowing for bonds and knowledge to grow.
It's got classroom pods, I'll call them, on the first and second floor along the back side of the building. Each of those pods have garage doors which open up, and there's a collaborative space where all the classrooms can come together and collaborate throughout the day. And they're all very similar down the back side of the building, which is the west side of the building. They all mirror each other. Each one of them has a science area, and I'm assuming they would have social studies and other classes throughout each pod. But at the same time, it opens up very, very well, and each student will be able to interact with each other throughout.
Though the road to completion has been long, the results are beginning to shine through and really spotlight West Bloomfield.
It is a state-of-the-art middle school. It is a large school, like I said, but it doesn't feel that way when you go in there and you see all the openness and the collaboration that they have planned for each student in that building. I'm excited to turn this over to the community and see it grow. It's been a very enjoyable project, seeing it come from start to finish, and I can't wait to turn this over to the district.
If you'd like to take a look at the building yourself, Thursday, April 21st, the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is hosting a virtual tour event with a 50-50 raffle, choral performances, and more. For more info on the event, go to wbef.org. Thank you to Aaron for talking with us, and good work on the building. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Calvin Brown.
If you want to take your own inside look into the West Bloomfield Middle School, the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation is hosting a virtual fundraiser tomorrow night where you can take a more in-depth look and donate to their great programs. For more information on the event, you can check out their website at wbef.org. Later on, we'll be taking a look at the big spring event that West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation hosted to celebrate Easter and the springtime. But before that, we'll be talking with Steve Kaplan, Township Supervisor for West Bloomfield. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head on, visit michigan.gov/flu. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. Joining us now to talk about some of the updates in West Bloomfield Township and how you can get involved with the boards and commissions in the township is Steve Kaplan, Township Supervisor for West Bloomfield. Steve, thanks so much for joining us again this morning.
Morning, Maddie.
So Steve, could you first tell us a little bit about those different boards and commissions that we have here in the township?
Every municipality, Maddie, has boards and commissions consisting of residents who help with decision-making processes, and West Bloomfield, of course, does too. We're slightly different in this regard from a city, but that's not important for our purposes. So here we have four main boards and commissions, and they are the Planning Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, the Environmental Commission, and the Cable Advisory Commission, where we provide 6 out of the 12 board members for Civic Center TV.
And then Steve, could you tell us a little bit about how many members are on each of these commissions and boards, and then also a little bit of the time commitment for these members on each of the boards and commissions?
Well, Maddie, the Planning Commission consists of 7 residents, 6 of whom are non-elected officials, and by state statute, 1 of the 7 Planning Commission members is also on the town board, but cannot be the supervisor. So for the Planning Commission, we have 6 members with various strengths, and we have, I believe, an architect, we have a construction business owner, we have an engineer, and we have some lay people. And the Planning Commission is very important to a community because Planning Commission assists with the adoption of the master plan and hearing matters involving site plans and site plan amendments. So 7 members. Zoning Board of Appeals consists of 5 members plus 2 alternates, and a township board member cannot serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals. And then the Environmental Commission, that's a creature of ordinance. So we are one of 6 communities in the state of Michigan to have an environmental commission. And part of that relates way back to the commitment of the township since 1970 to focus on environmental protection. So the Environmental Commission, 7 members, 1 of whom is strike that. All 7 are residents, none of them are elected officials. We do have a liaison, though, a non-voting board member who serves as a liaison to the Environmental Commission. And then the Cable Commission, there are 12 members, 12 board members, 6 from West Bloomfield, 2 from Keego Harbor, 2 from Sylvan Lake, and 2 from City of Orchard Lake Village.
And then Steve, could you tell us a little bit about how it is important to have these community members be so active on these boards and commissions that we have here in West Bloomfield?
Sure. I'd say there are 3 reasons. The first one is expertise. Township board members, the 7 of us, we might have some skills and experiences in the planning areas or the zoning areas, but the 7 members of the Planning Commission, if they don't already have those skills, they adapt or adopt them very quickly.
And then Steve, for residents here, if they're interested in being part of these boards and commissions, what does that application process look like? And if they may be concerned about the time commitment or how much time and effort they can give to these boards and commissions, will you tell us a little bit about some of the meeting recommendations and requirements that these board members will have?
Well, Maddie, if I may go back, because my fault, I didn't complete my sentence about the advantages of having non-elected officials serving on the Planning Commission, the Zoning Board, and the Environmental Commission, is we're bringing in people from across the township, 68,000 residents, 23,000 households. So it's important to gain the views of the public, so to speak. So in a way, they serve as the public. And maybe I mentioned this to you, but their expertise over time should be superior to township board members, and therefore we rely on our commissions. Also, back to your other question about how does one apply? We welcome our residents to apply for a position on one of these commissions or boards. There's an application process available online, or you can contact the supervisor's office and we'll send you a copy. The time commitment you mentioned, the Environmental Commission meets approximately 26 times per year, Wednesday nights, I believe, starting at 6:30. The Zoning Board of Appeals might meet 24 times per year on Tuesday nights beginning at 5:30. And then the Planning Commission meets on Tuesdays, and I believe their meetings start at 6. But the time commitment, Maddie, a board meeting might last 3 hours. And we do offer a stipend. It certainly will not cause one to become extremely wealthy, but we pay $125 to our residents to attend a meeting, to participate in a meeting. And we doubled that amount from $65 to $125. Because the board wanted to show that we value our boards and commissions and that we should be recognizing the time commitment they make.
And then Steve, as we wrap up here, could you just touch on how important these are to the community and the types of relationships that the board members and people on the commissions have with each other to better the West Bloomfield Township?
Sure. And I'd say the average resident in West Bloomfield is concerned about the environment and wants the trees and the wetlands and the ponds and the ravines protected and not eroded. And these commission members do make decisions regarding site plans and site plan amendments and new construction. So they're very important to the community to maintain West Bloomfield in a pristine way.
Well, Steve, it's always a pleasure to have you on the Splash Live. Thank you so much for joining us again and telling us a little bit about those boards and commissions that we have here in the West Bloomfield Township.
Thank you, Maddie. Nice to see you again.
Once again, I was joined by the Township Supervisor for West Bloomfield, Steve Kaplan, giving us some more information on the types of boards and commissions that we have here in the township and how you can apply if you're interested. One of the biggest in-person events to celebrate springtime and the Easter season. Although it was quite a windy day, that didn't stop the West Bloomfield community from coming down to Marshbank Park and having some fun. Let's go check out the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Spring Fling event and all the great things that they had to offer. West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation hosted their Spring Fling event this year to celebrate the coming of springtime and Easter. At the event that was held at Marshbank Park, all of the kids got to participate in an Easter egg hunt to find goodies to cash them in for cool treats and prizes. There was also a petting farm with a ton of cool animals and trackless train rides that all the family and friends could enjoy. Despite the very windy conditions, everyone in West Bloomfield that participated had a very fun time and got to experience all the great things that West Bloomfield Parks has to offer. We got to talk with Megan Kernat, the marketing manager for West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation, about what it means to them to be able to bring these great fan favorite events back to the West Bloomfield community for the spring and summertime.
So we are gearing up for summer. We're so excited to have some of our favorite annual events back. We had to take a pause for the past couple of years because of COVID, and we had to implement some restrictions and registration requirements and fees and all kinds of things. So this summer is going to be the most normal that we've had in a couple of years. Not that we'll ever be back to full normal, I'm sure, but it will be nice to have some sense of a regular summer here in West Bloomfield.
Supporting local businesses is also a top priority to West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation, which allowed them to bring in local vendors to participate in the Spring Fling event. If you're interested in registering for any of the upcoming West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation events for the spring and summertime, make sure to head over to wbparks.org, click on their events page, find the event of your choosing, and register through their website. Make sure to realize if you have some of the registration requirements and fees that are needed to participate in these events. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschin. For more information on some of those in-person events hosted by West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation, you can head over to their website at wbparks.org to find out all of the great events that they have, including their nature hikes and educational programs. We're now going to take a look at our interview that we had previously on the Splash Live with Cheryl Beinstock and Catherine Chico, where they talked to us about the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation event happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on their website. This virtual event will walk you through the new West Bloomfield Middle School and explain how you can donate to the foundation that will impact learning here in West Bloomfield. Let's go check it out. Joining us now to talk about the West Bloomfield Education Foundation event that is happening this Thursday is Catherine Chico and Cheryl Beinstock. Catherine and Cheryl, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
So can we first start off by talking a little bit about your involvement with the West Bloomfield Education Foundation and what you guys are doing in the school district to help out?
The Educational Foundation it has been, actually we're celebrating our 20th year this year. We were formed in 2002. And over the past 20 years, couldn't believe it when I looked it up, I'm like, 20 years. We have brought so many wonderful educational tools into the classroom, whether it's smart boards, Legos, after school activities. And we've just brought so many wonderful tools for our staff and educators to implement in the classrooms.
And then
we have a teacher grant program that was instituted many, many years ago, and teachers can apply for grants, and that's how we fund these projects that Cheryl was talking about. We also, so there's many projects that are that teachers fund within their classroom with books and special projects and Osmo additions to their iPads themselves. But we also have funded the robotics program at the high school. We have been instrumental in helping with the Lego extravaganza every year, the religious diversity community program. So there's a lot of things that we are able to fund with the with the monies that we raise at our fundraisers. And that's what's going to be happening this Thursday. We have had a casino night for the last 4 or 5 years where we've raised the funds that we need to pay off these projects with our teachers. But of course, the last 2 years, 3 years, we've not had it because of COVID. And so this year we are doing an all virtual tour of our middle school. It's going to be very exciting. We have 2 MCs who actually have children who graduated from the West Bloomfield schools, Jeff Sakwa and Mike Stone, and they are going to guide us through this virtual tour of the new middle school, which is yet to be completed. So we're excited to have that program going on Thursday evening, and we hope that everyone will tune in and at the same time donate to this worthwhile organization that is run completely by volunteers, where 100% of whatever we raise is given back to the West Bloomfield staff and students.
And Catherine, you're talking a little bit about what this event will look like. It will be a virtual walkthrough of the new West Bloomfield Middle School. Can you give us a little bit more detail about this event and what it will look like and that virtual aspect of this event happening on Thursday night?
Sure. We have 2 wonderful video people, Kevin Walsh, who is a retired TV and radio teacher from the high school, and Jennifer Williamson, who is the current TV and radio broadcasting teacher at the high school. And without them, this never would have occurred. They have put together drone photos of the school. We've gone into classrooms, they've gone into classrooms that where teachers have had grants, and they have videotaped the teachers and the students using these grant materials. And so they have put these clips all together into a program called All Aboard, and there'll be virtual stops at different parts of the middle school. And in between those virtual clips, our MCs will be talking a little bit more about the WBF and the programs that we do. So by the time you get done at the end of the evening, the audience will have seen all of the wonderful, innovative additions to the building that are truly amazing. And we end the night with a 50-50 raffle. Raffle tickets are available through today, and that will be done at the end of the program, and then we'll end it and be on our way.
And Cheryl, could you talk a little bit about the purpose of this event? Obviously, with the COVID-19 pandemic, fundraising has been a little bit more difficult in our community. Can you talk a little bit about what this means to the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation?
Over the course of the past 20 years, we have raised over $1 million, which all of the funds that have been raised have been given back to our amazing educators and staff to, as I said earlier, to be implemented in the classrooms across preschool all the way through 12th grade. And this event means so much to us. All of the events that we have had mean so much to us, because without the support of our community and all the amazing sponsors that have donated and patrons that have come to our events and supported the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, we would not be able to continue with our educator grant program. So this Thursday's event, it means so much to us to actually host something. As Kathy said, over the past several years, we have not, and because of COVID. So we're just so excited, and we just wanted to say thank you to everyone that has supported us since 2002, and from SOS campaign to Casino Night to all aboard. And thank you so much for your support. Our students and our staff and our principals, educators, they say thank you as well.
And then Kathy, as we wrap up here, could you just give us a little bit of information on the new West Bloomfield Middle School? Maybe give us a little bit of glimpse of what we're going to be seeing there, as well as if someone wants to participate or see the event, how they can do so.
Sure. Well, you're going to see they call it eye centers now. They used to be called media centers. A long time ago, when I went to school, they were called libraries. But the eye center is amazing in how it's been built. It's got it's got steps that go up to the second level of the school, and part of those steps are actually an auditorium kind of area for the children to see small programs in the media center. They have an auditoria, which is a combination of an auditorium and a cafeteria. It's tiered where the cafeteria part is, and the stage is at the end, and it's amazing the kinds of equipment they have put into this stage where they'll be doing their performances. The classrooms upstairs upstairs and downstairs actually are in pods, and so there's I think 6 classrooms in each pod, and they have garage doors that open up to a common area so they can have collaborative learning going on. So it's really amazing. The fine arts wing, they'll see it all on Thursday evening. So they need to tune in to what I'm talking about, because I was very impressed, and I taught for a lot of years. But there are things in this new building that will certainly enhance learning for the students of West Bloomfield.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it, and we're so looking forward to getting a sneak peek into the West Bloomfield Middle School on Thursday. Very exciting for the entire community here.
Yep, tell them to turn it to wbef.org, and that's where they'll find the link to watch the show.
Great. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you again to Catherine Chico and Cheryl Beinstock for giving us that great information on the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, as well as their big fundraiser event tomorrow night, happening virtually at 7 p.m. on wbef.org. For more information, you can head over to their website, as well as getting those raffle tickets to donate for the 50/50 raffle challenge. These donations are very needed for the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation to give those programs and those grants to the teachers here in our West Bloomfield School District. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Steve Kaplan for joining us this morning on the Splash Live to talk about some of those boards and commissions in West Bloomfield Township and how you can apply if you're interested in being on one of those boards or commissions. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a huge thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator and director, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 Monday through Friday at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch our show every morning on My Michigan TV. It's a new streaming service that covers all of the great people and events happening around Michigan. You can either head over to mymindtv.com or download the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone or smart TV. You can also check out all of our archived stories and interviews by visiting civiccentertv.com and following us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mushton. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.